What is up, YouTube? It is Mekabre back again? Question mark. Yeah, video already out today, and now another video. Yes, that's right. We have a new exotic guide brand, a new scout rifle just dropped in the game today. Dead Man's Tale. Now, this is that Tex Mechanica quest that I was talking about a while ago, right? A couple of videos, and let's get into it. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is completely ignore some of these weekly challenges, weekly objectives, because that's not how you get the quest. You're going to need to hop into the strike on Earth called the Arms Dealer. Okay, you can do the Nightfall version, you can do the regular version. Launch this strike, and you're going to follow the path that I have on screen. Now, keep in mind, I clear these enemies. This is me trying to figure out exactly what to do in order to make this guide for you guys. So, you do not necessarily do everything you see, but listen to what I'm telling you, okay? Also, keep in mind, there are some areas that I will not show the path to, partly because it took me almost a half an hour to find portions of the path, and that would make this video rather long, okay? You saw that with Hawk Moon. I posted the whole path and it took a little bit. So, some portions are cut out of this. If you would like to see them or you need help, first of all, join my clan. I would love to help you out. Second of all, I can make a video on that later on if you guys feel like it's necessary, showing the exact path. But you're going to need to head into the strike, head over to where I'm at, and then you'll see a little icon pop up. And you need to go pick this up, okay? Go pick up the iPad, as everyone is calling it. And once you have done this, immediately leave the strike. Okay, where are you going to go? Well, you are actually going to need to go back to the tower and talk to Zavala. Zavala is going to then tell you to go investigate this distress signal. Okay, pretty weird dialogue by him, but we'll get into that later. And now it'll allow you to access this in your directory, and you're going to simply do what it says, go and investigate. It's going to take you to this rather large ship. And on this ship, you're going to need to do a jumping puzzle. Fair warning, the door that you see right away won't open. So instead, back down the ramp, continue facing that door, but go back down the ramp. And to your left, you're going to need to do a jumping puzzle to get inside. Once inside, there is a several different combinations of jumping puzzles, a buff called egregor's something or another. Okay, and I can't remember, and I could be pronouncing that incorrectly. Egregor, Egregore. Anyways, it's going to be a mixture of mazes, the buff, and additionally pulling levers to open certain doors. Okay. Now, your end goal is to get to the final boss area, okay? And this is going to take a little bit of work. So, as you can see on screen, there's a lot of different rooms and a lot of different paths. What I recommend doing this is having a group of two, possibly three people. Why do I recommend this? What allows you to split up and cover ground a lot faster. Most of these levers have to be pulled in a specific order. So, as in the room that you see currently, I'm going to run to the back of this room and find a lever to pull. Okay, once I pull this lever, we can now go to the other side over where Vito currently is, and we'll be able to use a buff to get into eventually where I'm currently at. Then we drop down this hatch. Once again, we're just looking for levers. If you see a lever, make sure you can pull it. If you can't pull it yet, note where that lever is at and be sure to come back. Keep in mind, a lot of this area, there's going to be screebs and some other enemies. The screebs will one-shot you if they get too close, so be very careful. And while the power for this is only technically 1230, I was 1300 and was still hurting a little bit, to say the least. Now, we're trying to figure out where to get to this next area, and this part I will help you out a little bit. We're going to jump across. Vito is currently looking at it, but once we jump across this door, you'll be able to go through here in a second, and that will get you to another lever, which is then going to allow you to come back and shoot a power thing. Now, this is the other portion of this puzzle, okay? So there are levers to pull, and levers will almost always open doors, but some of these doors won't actually open doors that you can go through, but instead open a door that reveals a power coil. This power coil will be bright blue. As you saw when I came in one of the rooms, I shot something that looked similar to it, but it wasn't actually the power core. But anyways, you're going to run across here. I'll show you where the one that we'll need to shoot is here in a second, but I'm going to keep explaining some other things specifically in this next room. Okay. In this next room, you're going to want something possibly like a shotgun or an auto rifle. SMGs work really well as well. You're going to need to be shooting a lot of things, and don't worry if you don't get it first try. You guys can respawn and essentially have no problem. Your goal is to get into the door that we're looking at, or that we were just looking at. That's the power cable that we're going to need to shoot. And now we're going to go back to the door. Okay. Once we go into the door, this is going to be a long drop, similar as we've seen in some of the previous quests, and you're going to need to brace yourself. Do not die from the impact here. Once you're down here, this is where the fun begins. This is like that Star Wars trash compactor epic area. I don't remember exactly which movie it's part of, but it's pretty cool. All right, you're going to need to shoot all the panels that have ventilation things on them. Keep in mind this first round you do it, and only the first round you do it, there will be screams. After this, once you shoot all the panels and you destroy all the power cores, as you're seeing us do currently, the walls will stop closing in. If you don't do this fast enough or you don't get all the panels successfully, well, the walls won't stop and you're going to have an issue, okay? Like I said, though, keep in mind if you don't get it, it's okay. You guys can just wipe and try all over again. It's not a problem at all. Now, we were saying, okay, well, we shouldn't be wiping. Seems pretty easy and everything, right? Like why do we need to shoot all these panels? Well, here's the thing: running it with three people is going to make this a lot easier, and I mean a crap ton easier. Okay, if you run this with three people, you're going to be able to shoot those panels a lot faster, and you're going to more than likely not have to wipe at all. But anyway, once you do wipe, there's going to be one of the panels is going to open essentially a door. Okay, you'll see me look at it several times because it looks similar to several of the doors that we've seen before, but this one's going to have red lights around it and they're going to kind of be flashing. You're going to need to drop down in this hole. Now you're back in a maze portion of this, okay? Work your way through, and you're going to need to start learning to use this debuff or buff, whatever it is, okay? The egregor, okay? You're going to use that buff, and it's going to get you through these walls that you can't get through otherwise. You've encountered them before, but this next area that I do not show is going to be very complicated, okay? Now, after that, you're going to go back to the room that you started in, and you'll eventually make your way to the room that we're currently in, okay? And you're going to need to find once again, a way to get that buff to go through the door that was just on screen. Now, eventually, we do find this buff. Like I said, all of this is just from my first run, so I'm figuring it out just as much as some people who were first day. Okay, but you're eventually going to try and get in to that door that was to my right there. Okay, once we get in this door, you're going to be able to pick up the buff, and you'll be able to run through that door. Now, watch. I highly recommend going ahead this path and picking off the enemies first. But if you don't, that's not a problem. Feel free to do it with the buff, but know that you have to refresh midway in order to make it across. Once you get all the way across, you're now into an area where you can place a rally banner. Thank goodness for those of you who are out there like, dude, I'm running low on ammo. I need some heavy. This is a great spot. Obviously, they added it for a reason, so utilize that rally banner. Once you do, run through the door right in front of you and drop down the hole. Now we're into the boss room. This is the final part of this quest, and honestly, probably one of the easier portions. Even with just the two of us, we were able to cream it pretty easily first try. Here's the deal. This guy isn't that tanky, and Anarchy does wonders. Xenophage also does pretty well from what I've seen, and there's a couple other guns that work pretty well, but I would definitely recommend Anarchy. Now, how does this last room work? Quite simply put, you're going to deal damage to him and he's going to run away. As you can see on the floor panels, downstairs, we're currently upstairs, is really hot. Clear the enemies and activate the panels in this specific order. This is 1. Now I'm going to run to the opposite side of 2. Everyone say hello to Vito. Shout out to him for helping me get this quest done day 1. That's number 2. And then run into the burning room in order to get the third. Now, once you have done all 3 of these levers, you'll be able to drop down. Okay, you're gonna have to do this a couple times. He has about 3 stacks of his health bar, so every time you get him down a third, he's going to go into like an immunity phase, essentially, because downstairs is going to be burning like crazy. So essentially, just kill him. Once you've killed him, great, and it will take a little bit, but once you've killed him, awesome. You're on to the next part now. Be careful. I highly recommend using well, possibly bubble, stasis hunter, anything that really is just going to keep the enemies at bay and keep you alive as much as possible. It's going to tell you to approach the bridge. Now, what is this talking about? Head back upstairs. There'll be a door that's open. It'll lead you to this room. Once you're in this room, steal the gun. That's literally what it says. Hey, morals, don't ask me. Once you steal the gun, it's going to ask you to go back to Zavala in order to actually unlock the gun. And voila, Dead Man's Tale, the new exotic kinetic scout rifle, is in your inventory. So, what is it like? Well, it is a 120 round per minute scout rifle, a little odd. The perk is called Cranial Spike. Chaining precision hits grants bonus damage and quickens reload speed. Fluted barrel, as well as accurized rounds, transformative, so we will have random rolls, and hand laid stock. Also, keep in mind that there will be a catalyst. So, with this, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and get back to grinding your crazy guardians.